Day 38. Dieppe to Cape Egmont. I woke up a little later than I wanted to. It was difficult to sleep with all the noise last night. I stayed at an overnight truck stop and had to deal with street racers, loud trucks, and general racket from the surrounding area. Dieppe was as interesting of a city as St. John, perhaps even less. So much so that I really couldn't care to stay here much longer. After refueling my beast, I took a quick drive to nearby Shediac. Here I met the giant lobster, a symbol of New Brunswick and much of Atlantic Canada's fishing industry. It was cool to take a few pictures, and I considered exploring the nearby visitor center, but it was too damn hot for me to spend time outdoors. I quickly returned to my beast, cranked up the air conditioning, and off I went. Today I would be visiting one of the two provinces I have never been to before, Prince Edward Island. Thoughts entered my mind as to what I would expect. Naturally, I would find friendly people, laid-back culture, and certainly everything typical of Atlantic Canada. But what else would I find here? Adventure, for sure. I drove over the famous Confederation Bridge, which was an interesting drive on its own. Speed cameras and warnings were everywhere, and I never drove on a bridge quite like this before. As an experienced driver, I almost never feel nervous when driving. However, driving on Canada's longest bridge with steep inclines, curves, and ocean all around did make me feel extra careful. After what seemed like a much longer drive across the bridge, I arrived at a COVID screening center. Despite the progress the world has had in the past few months, Atlantic Canada was still taking preventative measures to prevent the spread of disease. After having an extra long Q-tip jammed up my nose, as well as providing falsified documentation, I was able to enter Prince Edward Island. Given the high summer heat, I stopped by the first area after the bridge, Borden Carleton, where I was able to get myself some much-needed ice cream. After enjoying my dairy treat, I continued onward where I decided to drive around the entirety of Prince Edward clockwise. My next stop was in a small town of Summerside, where I walked around the marina. I parked at Spinnaker's Landing, a cute little waterfront market with various shops. This allowed me to stretch my legs and enjoy the beautiful summers along the ocean. It was quite hot, so I didn't spend too much time walking around. I knew right away that I stood out from the locals, being that I was the only one walking around shirtless with a red cowboy hat. I did get some interesting looks from people and even had a few people honk their horn and wave to me, something common in Atlantic Canada. This area reminded me of Steveston Village in Richmond. After resting for a while, I continued onward where I drove clockwise to see what other adventures I would find. I passed by a magnificent looking church, and since this was the height of COVID, entry was not permitted. I had no real plans on visiting any religious sites on my trip, but seeing this beautiful church by the ocean was like a peaceful sign of things to come. Or so I thought. The sun was beginning to set, and it was time for me to find a place to settle. My plan was to stay at the Cap Egmont Lighthouse. According to my research, I could stay here without any issues. The road to the lighthouse was a dirt road in poor condition that my beast did not like. When I arrived at the lighthouse, I was greeted by some extreme winds. The weather report said that a storm was coming through and to expect high winds and rain. I wasn't the only one there. A few other car campers were there as well. I walked around, enjoyed the view of the ocean from the red soil cliffs, and took pictures of the small sea stacks almost a stone throws away. The lighthouse itself was automated, but knowing I wasn't the only one camping here was somewhat relieving. I had been car camping for over a month now, mainly in urban environments, but I never had to camp throughout a storm. After enjoying the beauty of Prince Edward Island, I began to settle in for the night. The storm came in hard and fast, and to my own stupidity, I forgot that the lighthouse would sound the foghorn. The foghorn itself was damn nearly deafening, and I felt quite weary choosing to park so close to the cliff. In the middle of the night, I fired my beast back up and parked closer to the base of the lighthouse while I watched several other of the cars leave the area in fear. I strongly considered doing so, as I knew that the rain had the possibility of ruining the already poor gravel road. I certainly did not want to be stranded here. It was quite strange being at the base of the lighthouse, watching the lightning come down from the ocean far away, leaving the omnipresent shadow of the lighthouse just briefly flash before me. This was something out of a horror film. All sorts of supernatural thoughts came rushing into my mind. But in the end, it was just me and my beast, alongside one last couple in their vehicle who moved away from the cliff as well. Eventually, I fell asleep, wondering what would lie in store for me tomorrow. Thank you for sharing in my experience. If you enjoyed my video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would truly appreciate you sharing my video on your social network, as it helps my channel grow. Be sure to check my playlist to see different categories on my exciting adventures I'm sharing with the world. Life is an adventure. Let's share this experience together.